One of the biggest decisions you're going to have to make when designing a solar system is where to locate those panels. I had a few different options on my off grid build project, and today I'm taking a little break from clearing to tell you why I picked the spot I chose. All right, so I'm building an off grid cabin here in southwest Tennessee. It's on raw land. I don't have access to electric utilities, so my system is going to be completely off grid, putting in a rather large system for the size of the cabin, and I needed to find a spot to put my solar array. So I had to go through a series of decisions to decide where I wanted to put it using my property. It's going to be specific to each installation, what factors are important to you, the land layout, the property layout, how you're going to use the system. So let me go through a few of the main factors that I use to choose this location. First is sun exposure. That's obviously king. You're going to want to be able to get sun to your panels. Specifically, you're going to want to try to find a location pointed south, as much south as possible, southeast, southwest, depending on availability, and if you want morning sun, afternoon sun, or that full day sun. I was kind of in a tough spot here. We had a small clearing. I had to drop some trees actually to build the cabin, but there wasn't a whole lot of area in that spot to put both the cabin and the array. I picked up a bunch of used panels, a bunch of them, like pushing 40 of them to install. So I needed a rather large area, and so I started hunting out a spot. Our cabin is facing almost the right direction, but with that large amount of panels, putting them on the roof really just didn't work for me for that and a couple other reasons I'll probably mention in a little bit. So I started searching around the property in relatively close location to the cabin to see if I had a south-facing area that I could clear out and use for the panels. Just to the south side of the cabin, far enough away that it isn't going to block any future plans. Key number one is when you locate your solar panels, make sure you're not going to want to put anything there in the future. If you're constructing a property and it's one of the first things you're going to install, you're going to want to do a lot of future planning. Make sure you're not putting them where you're going to want a driveway or a future building or something like that. I got far enough away from the cabin that it isn't going to interfere with our plans for a yard or a driveway or anything like that. And actually, when I found a spot, I had a nice slope sloping away from the cabin facing south. It's going to be really advantageous for me since I have a large amount of panels. I'm going to end up having a 50-foot array, probably by 15-20 foot deep, 3 panels deep and 50-foot long. And this slope, it's going to give those panels a little bit of tilt. You're going to want to tilt your panels to the proper angle depending on your location. And so this gives me an advantage on that tilt already. And then it also is going to kind of hide the panels away from the view of the cabin. So as you're looking out, they're going to be sitting down a hill, even though they're going to be slanted to face the sun. The top isn't going to be necessarily 10, 15 feet in the air where we're going to be looking at the back of those panels all the time. So as I searched around, I found this nice slope. I kind of did some guessing and some estimating, and it was long enough. It's facing the right direction, and I'll get that sun exposure. The way that I was able to figure out where the sun is, I used an app called Sunseeker. I'll put the app logo up on the screen here, and then a little bit of screen record of how it works. But basically, you open the app, and in your location, it'll give you the sun path, both currently today, and then both the lowest path in the winter and the highest path in the summer, and you're able to look at it on a compass view or switch over to basically a camera view and look at the landscape, the trees and everything, and see those paths overlaid on the screen. So if you got a big tree and you're wondering if it's going to block out the sun in the winter or maybe the summer, you're going to be able to see where the sun crosses those paths. So picking location by sun exposure, Sunseeker is a great app to use. I believe I paid for the upgraded version. The free version might be good enough for you. Just check it out first, and then you can purchase later. So sun exposure. I'm gonna have plenty of sun exposure after I cut down a bunch of trees. That's another thing. How much work are you gonna have to do to get the area ready to install your panels? Like I said, I'm on raw property. It was a logged property about 15 years ago, and it has all sorts of tall trees, not a whole lot of clearings. So I was gonna have to clear regardless. So this spot was just a no-brainer for me, since I was going to have to cut down trees. The slope worked in my favor, the sun exposure worked in my favor. I just went with this, and I'm having to do a lot of work to clear it, but I think the benefits of having it on the slope, like I said, for the hiding it from view, not having it way up in the air, are going to be advantages. And cutting down the trees, I was going to have to do that regardless of where I put it. So sun exposure, how much work you're going to have to do put it in. Another thing is going to be the distance from your equipment. One thing people don't think about is how much wire they're going to have to run from the array to, say, your charge controller, your inverter, your batteries, how much you're going to have to trench to get there, what kind of soil conditions you're going to have to go through to get there. I was kind of set on this spot. We're going to be putting a utility shed off the side of the cabin that's going to house all our electrical and water systems in the shed. So basically, I'm going to locate that shed in a direct line from the solar panel, grab a trencher, run a trench, some conduit, and I'm going to try to keep it as close as possible from my combiner box at the array to the shed to minimize that wire cost, because every foot's going to add dollars on as you go. So distance from where your equipment's going to be could be a factor for you if you have multiple options to choose and one's closer than the other. Cost wise, it might be beneficial to go closer. You're going to want to have access to the area. You're going to want to be able to perform maintenance on the array. You're going to want to be able to perform maintenance on the racking. You're going to want to be able to mow around it, to weed eat around it, to keep growth down. Mine's going to be wide open after I get this all cleared and get that array in. I'll be able to run through here with a weed eater, maybe a lawn tractor at some point, but just clearing around it and keeping the weeds down is essential for maintenance and for the longevity of your system. Another thing you're going to want to think about is expansion or replacement. I bought some old, not older, but used panels, which are probably going to need to be replaced sooner than brand new panels. And my plan that I've come up with to do that is I'm going to add panels to replace the ones I'm taking out, get those online, and then remove the panels. So I'm going to need some extra space cleared to do that, both on the ground and also sun exposure wise. So I'm taking extra trees outside of what would shade my panels, so I have extra room to add either more panels if I wanted to make the system bigger, or add replacement panels to have them online before I take the other ones offline. So you're going to want room for expansion. You're going to want room for replacement, for repairs and things like that. That's another reason I didn't want to put my panels on the roof. One, they weren't going to all fit on the roof. Two, I'm not crazy about heights. My roof of my cabin's 20 plus feet up in the air. I don't like to get up there and have to mess around with troubleshooting wiring and working on racking and things like that. And I also have a metal roof, and I didn't want to be putting holes in the roof that I didn't have to. So that was kind of a no-brainer for me in the end, not to put that on the roof. So you could either go roof mount, ground mount, and it was a no-brainer for me to go ground mount. So what do we got? We got sun exposure, we got accessibility, we got ease of installation. So along with that ease of installation, not only do I have to cut down trees, I had to knock down a bunch of this brush. You can kind of see behind me, the undergrowth and the brambles and everything are over my head. I'm 6'5", and it's all grown up, so I had to knock all that down before I started removing trees. I'm going to probably run into a bunch of roots and things in the ground. So you're going to want to consider that for putting in posts for your mounting system, for your racking. I have a plan for that. I'm going to do a post hole auger, and if need be, I have access to somebody with a skid steer with a post auger that would probably go through whatever I have here. But you might be dealing with rock beds or things like that, so you're going to want to consider that, the installation of your panels. You're going to want to make sure you have good drainage. Like I said, I'm putting mine in on a slope, so drainage is going to go right down the hill, past the array, and filter off into the gully down the hill. But you don't want to put it in a low spot where you're going to get pooling water that's going to sit around your posts. If you're putting in wooden posts, that's going to rot the posts. It's just not ideal to have big swampy mess around your panels. So drainage, soil type, ease of installation, and that's really about it. As far as I went through, like I said, I kind of had to pick where I wanted it and then figure out how to get it there. So if you want to check out, I'm going to be doing some videos on the process I'm using to clear this area to put my array in. Videos coming up will be clearing, the process I use, the tools I use, and then we'll definitely be documenting the installation of the array, the installation of the equipment, and things like that. So I appreciate you watching. Be sure to scroll down, check out the video description. Got a lot of resources down there. I'll have links to that Sunseeker app, places where I'm getting my solar equipment, tools I've been using, and hit that subscribe if you're going to want to check out the rest of the videos in this series.